Hello folks. So today we will discuss about client script. What is client script? In ServiceNow, a client script is like a little JavaScript ninja that hides in your browser and performs various operations or activities as per our requirement. It generally occurs on the events that we perform on a form level or a record level. So events we can say that like page loading, page submission, and changing of a field. These are all the events on which we generally performs our activities or operation. Now, in next slide, we will discuss about the types of client script in ServiceNow. There are four types of client script. First is on load, second is on submit, third is on change, and fourth is on cell edit. On load is generally when our page loads and forms get refresh. This on load client script works on this. Second one is on submit. Whenever we submit our form and traverse our data from form view to record view, the generally on submit client script works there. On change works on changing of the field. When we are changing some value on the field, this on change will get trigger and we can perform the activities of operations that we want as per our requirement. And fourth one is on cell edit. This works on the record view. Like suppose if we are changing any cell or we are changing any value from the cell of record view, this client script will get trigger and in that way we can perform any activity. Now let's look up the real world scenarios of onload client script which we are going to perform in our developer instance. So these are the real life scenarios of onload client script which we are performing now. First one is alert box which has the current form table. Second one is setting the priority to high. Third one is if user has ITIL role, the assigned to we are going to set it to the logged in users. The user which will be the logged in, the assigned to value will get set to it. The fourth one is concatenation of short description and caller ID, the description field. And fifth one, we will be going to hide our field on the basis of role. So let's look all this scenario one by one in our developer instance. So this is our developer instance. According to first scenario, we need to populate the current table form name on our alert box. So we will go to incident table from here. These are the records on the incident table. We will open any existing record. And from the context menu, we will choose the option of configure. And under that, we will find the option of client script. These are the list of client script which are existingly present out of the box, which is written on the incident table and its parent table. Now we will create a new from. We would have to name it. So let's name it populate current table name. Okay. Now let's choose the type on load. Now under the script snippet, we will add our script to perform the action according to a scenario. So let's declare one variable current table. Now we will use the gform object and the function of fetching the form name, sorry, current table name. Now this function will store the current table name value into the variable. Now we will use the alert keyword and inside we will add our string current table name is. Now let's use the dynamic variable which contains the value of current table name. So this is it. Now we will save this client script. Okay, let's try this our incident table. Okay, it's not working. Let me check. Okay, so we used the wrong name of it. Okay, now let's save it and we'll try it again. Let me refresh the page. Yeah, it's working now. So you can see the current table name is incident. So it fetched the current form name value into this alert box. Okay, so let's look at scenario number two, setting the value of priority to high. Okay, so currently it states that whenever we will load this form, the priority value should set to high. So let's write the client script for this. We would have to give it a name, set priority high. The type will be again onload, and let's write a code for this. Again, we will be using the gform object, and the function we will be using for this will be the set value. Now the set value generally accepts two parameters. First will be the name of field and second will be the name of uh, value. So when I'm saying the field name and field value, it means their backend name. So this is the priority. We will check the backend name of this from by right clicking on this field, and this is the name of this. This is the backend name of this field. So in the inverted commas, we will write the backend name of priority, and after that we'll write a comma and the second parameter. The second parameter will be the backend name of the value which we want to set. So for that value, let's go to configure dictionary, and here we will find the related type of choices. You can see all the list of choices for that field, for that priority field is there. So we want the backend value of this high. We can see that the backend value is 2 for this choice. Let's go back again, and here we will write 2. So that's it. Just it will this code, this one line of code only will set the value of priority to high. Let's save this client script. Okay, now we will refresh this page to check. You can see now earlier the priority is 3, and after reloading the page, now it's set to 2. So this is our scenario which is working now. We will now jump on to the scenario number 3. Says that if a logged in user is having ITIL role, then assigned to value will be the logged in user. Suppose if David Miller is having ITIL role and David Miller is and impersonating with the David Miller, then on the loading of the form, the assigned to will be set to David Miller. So let's build a client for this. Okay. Then type will be again on load. So in the script, first we will check if the logged in user is having ITIL role or not. For that, we will use if clause, and then under that, we will write a condition for that. We will use the guser object, and the method we will be using here is to check the roles. So guser dot has role, and in brackets we will write the name of the role, which is ITIL, and we'll open the if statement, and then in this if statement, then we will set the value of assigned. So if a user is having role ITIL, then we will set the assigned to value to the login user. So we will again use this key form object and then set value. So as we discussed prior, that set value has two parameters. First one for the field name and second one for the field value. Here the field name will be the backend name of assigned tool, which is assign underscore tool, and the field value here we will use the logged in user value, logged in user ID. So G user dot user dot ID, user ID, and so that's it. We will save this client script to test it out. We'll check now. We will open any of the incident record, and so we can see that assigned to a system administrator because I'm having a I'm having the system admin logged in, so that's the result is coming as. But if I impersonate with any other user, their name will come up here. So this is the scenario number three. A client script includes the inclusion of two fields for the third one. So this will be quite interesting to learn. Let's set up the client script for this. The name we will give it to like short description, oh, set description field. Again, the client script type will be onload only. Now let's see what we will do in script snippet. Okay. So first we will, as we are concatenating the caller ID and short description, first we will store them into the separate variables. So let's declare a variable called caller ID, and then we will use gform object. Here we will use get value method. Earlier we used the set value method for setting the values. Now if you want the val for getting the values of a field, we will be using a get value method. And under the brackets, a parameter we will be using the name of that field. So for this, the field name will be caller underscore ID. Now for the short description, again we will declare a variable called short underscore description. And similarly, we will use gform dot get value. Sorry. Okay. Under that, as a parameter, we will mention the name of short description field. Okay. Now we will create the concatenated result and store it into a variable called variable result. Let's build the concatenate result of both the fields. So caller ID, then we will use the concatenate symbol and we'll use inverted commas and we will use the hyphen to separate both the field values. Again, we will use the concatenate symbol and mention the name of the variable which is storing the short description value. Okay. So now we are having the concatenated result in our result variable. Now we will use the gform object dot set values for storing the concatenated result into the description field. Yeah. And result will be the value which we are going to store into the description field. Okay. Now there is one issue here. I will show you that there is one twist. First, we will save this field and we'll see the desired output of this script first. Okay. Now I will reload the incident form and we'll see that how it comes in the description field. Oops, the description field is missing here. Okay, I think there might be some issue in our script. That's why it is hiding description field. Let's see. Oh, actually we use set display. It should be set value. Okay, let's save it and check. Now I can see the description field is there. And yeah, so see, now it is concatenating the result and setting it into the description field, but it is storing the display value into the description field. The reason behind is that we are using a get value for caller ID. Caller ID is a reference field, and if we are using the get value, it will pass the sys ID of that record. We want the display value of this record. So for that, we need to use get display box. Get display box means the display box of that field, and then at last we will use dot value for getting the display value of that display box and store it into the caller ID caller ID variable. Now let's save it, and then we will check by reloading the page one more time. Now you can see David Miller is coming as expected, and here is the description field, which is having the desired result with the concatenation of caller ID field and short description. So let's move on to the last scenario where we are going to hide the configuration item field on the basis of role, which will be ITIL field. Okay. So I am as a system administrator is having ITIL role. So let's build a client script for this scenario. So here we are going to give it a name called height field for ITIL role. Field we are using here is configuration item. Again, the client script type will be onload. Okay. So in the code snippet, as we have already did in the third scenario, we will be again checking the role of the logged in user. For that, we will use the if statement, and under that, we are going to use the guser object, which has a method called as role, and under that, we will mention the name of that role, which is ITIL. So this line of code will check the ITIL role of logged in user, whether the user is having ITIL role or not. Now, into this if statement, we are going to use gform object dot set display. The set display function will hide or make the field visible on the form. Generally, the set display function accepts two parameters. The first one is the name of the field, where we are mentioning our configuration item backend name. And the second one, we are using false to hide the field from the form. Now, let's save this code and see the desired output of our code. Okay, it's saved. Now, let's refresh the page and check whether configuration item is getting hidden from the form or not. So you can see that here the configuration item is available on the form, and now it's got vanished. So our script is working fine. So that's it. We have discussed all the scenarios of OnLoad Client Script. And in our next video, we will be discussing the real-time examples of OnSubmit Client Script. Until then, thank you so much all.